This interview you sent in with 50 Cent. It's like a masterclass in music, business, Hollywood, you name it.
Yeah, he really doesn't hold back.
So much to unpack. Where do we even begin?
Well, one thing that jumps out is how his early experiences, even as a teenager in Queens, kind of set the stage for his whole career.
You mean like his Amazon for Crack days?
Exactly. He talks about how he basically cornered the drug market in his neighborhood, operating with this, business mindset even then.
It's crazy, right? Undercutting the competition, building loyalty. Even in that world, he was building a brand.
And it's not just about selling a product, it's about strategy. Understanding supply and demand, customer service, all those fundamentals.
And he took that hustle and applied it to music, to Hollywood, to everything he's done.
It's that entrepreneurial spirit,
Yeah.
Always looking for an angle, always 10 steps ahead.
Which brings us to How to Rob, the song that really put him on the map.
Oh yeah, that was a genius move. Name-dropping all those artists, detailing how he'd robbed them. It was like this publicity stunt on steroids.
And it totally worked. Created this buzz, blurred the lines between reality and fiction, just brilliant marketing.
But what's even more interesting is that he admits it came from a place of desperation.
Wow.
He was about to be dropped by his label, needed to make a splash.
Talk about pressure. And then Get Rich or Die Trying drops, becomes the biggest debut in hip-hop history. The rest is, well, history.
It's more than just a catchy title, though. It taps into this universal theme of ambition, struggle, survival.
Yeah.
It resonates with anyone who's ever faced adversity.
And then there's the whole Jay-Z dynamic, right? The rivalry, the respect, it's complicated.
Yeah, and he even claims to have predicted the current lawsuit against Jay-Z based on his observations of Diddy.
Wait, really? What's he suggesting there?
Well, it's like he's pointing to a pattern of behavior, this culture of silence around certain figures in the industry.
He's definitely not afraid to speak his mind, even if it ruffles some feathers.
And it's not just talk. He's transitioned from music to Hollywood, created this whole empire with power. His own content on Roku, it's incredible.
I was blown away by his story about wanting to kill off an old lady in power, because that's what the network execs thought would be good TV.
Right. It highlights this disconnect between Hollywood and reality, this obsession with sensationalism over authenticity.
And then there's the whole business side, the vitamin water deal, the early Bitcoin investment. He's got this Midas touch.
It's more than just luck, though. He's got this knack for anticipating trends, for seeing value where others don't.
He even tried to get Drake to invest in Bitcoin back in the day. Imagine if Drake had listened.
Right. It's like he's always one step ahead. But let's not forget his commitment to staying true to himself, even when it's risky.
Yeah, he's definitely not afraid to go against the grain, to challenge conventions, to speak his truth.
And that's what makes him such a compelling figure, right? He's not afraid to be the anti-hero, the one who shakes things up and makes us question everything.
And he does it all with this incredible sense of humor. He can disarm you with a joke one minute and then drop some serious wisdom the next.
It's that combination of wit, intelligence, and street smarts that makes him so unique. He's a true original.
Absolutely. And I think that's what we need to unpack further. How did he manage to blend all these elements into such a successful and, let's be honest, controversial career?
Yeah, and what can we learn from his journey? Both the successes and the missteps. I think there's a lot to dig into there.
All right, well, let's take a quick break and then dive back into the world of 50 Cent. There's still so much to uncover. I'm still thinking about how 50 Cent basically turned street smarts into, a business strategy. It's not something you see every day.
It's like he took the rules of the streets and applied them to the music industry, to Hollywood, to everything he touches.
And it worked, right. He disrupted the game, made his own rules, and built an empire.
He was never afraid to challenge the status quo. Even back in the day, he was giving away more drugs to undercut the competition. It's that same disruptive mindset, just on a different scale.
He talks about boxing, too, how it helped him deal with confrontation, took the emotion out of it, turned it into more of a strategic challenge.
That's a really interesting point, right? He's able to compartmentalize, to approach things with a clear head, even when the stakes are high.
You see that in his music, his business deals, even his beefs. It's always calculated, always strategic, never just about ego.
And speaking of beefs, his relationship with Jay-Z, with Diddy, it's fascinating how he navigates those dynamics.
He's not afraid to call people out, to speak his mind, even if it means making enemies.
He sees himself as a truth teller, even if it comes at a cost. And that takes guts, especially in an industry where everyone's trying to play it safe.
But he's not just about talking the talk. He walks the walk, too. From music to movies to business ventures, he's constantly pushing boundaries.
And that vitamin water deal, wow. That was a masterstroke. Seeing the potential of a product before anyone else, aligning his brand with it, brilliant.
He wasn't just a face on a bottle, he was a strategic partner. And then there's the Bitcoin thing, trying to get Drake to invest back when it was practically worthless.
Talk about being ahead of the curve. But it's that willingness to take risks, to embrace new ideas, that sets him apart.
He's not afraid to fail, to learn from his mistakes and come back even stronger.
And that's something we can all learn from, right? This idea that failure isn't the end, it's just part of the process.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes him so relatable. Just despite all the success, all the money, all the fame, he's still got that hustle, that drive, that underdog mentality.
He's never forgotten where he came from, and I think that's why he connects with people on such a deep level.
He's got this raw, authentic energy that you just can't fake. And he's not afraid to show his vulnerabilities, his flaws, his sense of humor.
It's that combination of street smarts, business savvy, and creative vision that makes him such a unique figure, a true icon.
But it's not just about him, right? His story is a reflection of a larger cultural shift. This idea of Black excellence evolving, becoming more nuanced.
Exactly. It's not just about fitting into a certain mold, it's about defining success on your own terms, and that's a powerful message.
And he's constantly challenging the status quo, whether it's in the music industry, in Hollywood, or in society as a whole.
He's not afraid to make people uncomfortable, to spark conversations, to push boundaries.
And he does it all with this incredible sense of humor. He can be serious one minute and then have you laughing out loud the next.
It's like he uses humor as a weapon, to disarm his critics, to connect with his audience, to make his points in a way that sticks.
He's a master storyteller, whether it's through his music, his films, or even just his interviews.
There's always a message, a lesson, something to think about, even when it's wrapped up in a joke or a wild anecdote.
And he's still evolving, still pushing himself creatively, still taking risks. You gotta admire that, right?
Absolutely.
No.
He's not content to rest on his laurels. He's always looking for the next challenge, the next opportunity to disrupt the game.
I'm really curious to hear what our listeners think. What resonates with you about 50 Cent's story? How has he inspired you?
And do you think his model of success, this idea of disruption with a purpose, can be applied to other fields, other industries?
These are some big questions, and I think they're worth exploring. So let's dive in, shall we? It's kind of wild how he talks about dealing drugs as like his first business, you know?
Yeah, even back then, he was thinking about strategy. Undercutting the competition, building customer loyalty, he applied those same principles to everything he's done.
He even mentions how boxing taught him to handle confrontation, to take the emotion out of it.
Like a chess match. Right, thinking several moves ahead, staying calm under pressure.
And he's always been a fighter, whether it's in the music industry, in Hollywood, or in his personal life.
Always pushing boundaries, challenging the status quo, never backing down from a fight.
But he's also got this incredible sense of humor, you know? He can disarm you with a joke one minute and then drop some serious knowledge the next.
It's like he uses humor to make his points more effectively, to connect with people on a different level.
And he's never afraid to poke fun at himself, which I think is really refreshing.
It makes it more relatable, more human, even with all the success and fame.
I'm also struck by his self-belief, this unwavering confidence in his own abilities.
He's been told no countless times, but he never let it stop him. He always found a way to make his vision a reality.
And that's a powerful message, right? To believe in yourself even when others doubt you.
To trust your instincts, to take risks, to never give up on your dreams.
His journey is a reminder that success isn't always linear. There are going to be setbacks, detours, obstacles along the way.
But it's about how you respond to those challenges, how you learn and grow from them.
And 50 Cent, he never let anything get him down for too long. He always bounced back, stronger and more determined.
There's a real resilience there, a refusal to be defeated that I think is incredibly inspiring.
He's also incredibly candid about the downsides of fame, you know? The isolation, the pressure, the constant scrutiny.
It's a reminder that success isn't always what it's cracked up to be. There's a human cost, a price to pay for being in the spotlight.
But he seems to have found a way to navigate those challenges, to stay grounded, to keep his sense of humor.
And at the end of the day, I think that's what makes him so compelling. He's a complex, multifaceted individual who's constantly evolving, and he never lets us forget where he came from.
He's a true original, and his story is a testament to the power of hustle, of vision, and of staying true to yourself no matter what. So that wraps up another deep dive, and wow, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired right now.
Yeah, 50 Cent's journey is definitely a reminder that anything is possible if you set your mind to it and never give up on your dreams.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries.